Hey guys, welcome back. This is my third week of my sophomore spring semester of 2025. And so for week three, I actually have quite a lot written down, you know. So on Monday, basically, for math class, we got out of class early, and that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say about that. But what I do have to say else about Monday is that because I got left out of class early, all of us, um, I decided, you know what? I've been wanting to go buy a loaf of bread. I'll go buy a loaf of bread right now because my next class isn't until you know, almost like 2 hours, sort of. I'll have enough time to get to the store and, you know, buy the bread and get it back into my dorm room before I have to head off to my second class. Um, and thing is, the store that I wanted to go to wasn't open yet, so I was like, you know what, it's fine. I'll just go to the other stores that are open. So I went to one of the stores that I was closest to at the where I was standing at. And basically, I looked in, there was no bread. I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just go to the other store. And the other store is actually quite far away. I know where it is, so I'm not like, it's not like I'm going to get lost, going to there. But, it is like the farthest one that is away from me. But I was like, you know what? It's open. Again, I have enough time. I don't really have the patience to be waiting to get a loaf of bread, you know, after my second class. Hmm. Anyways, I ended up going there and basically I ended up getting the loaf of bread, and I think it was like the only one of that kind that was left. And so I bought it, and then when I was leaving, okay, I was already out the door. I was, about to, I was just walking on like the sidewalk pretty much. I noticed the bread was moldy. Um, I don't, I was completely shocked because, I was wearing like a green shirt. And so I was like, well, maybe, the color of the shirt is reflecting onto the plastic, but I checked and I was like, no, this is actually moldy. Um, and so I checked for the expiration date and it was going to expire the next day, so they had this bread out still. And I mean, I guess it does technically still work, they could still sell it, but the next day they was going to have to throw it out anyways. But basically, before I even got to my dorm room, before I even crossed the street, okay, I just threw it away. Okay, and I realized, you know what? It was better for me to just have patience to go get the loaf of bread after my second class than what I just did because I done wasted my money. And so yeah, I wouldn't be able to get to get a loaf of bread until after I had finished with all my classes of that day. So there's that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for Monday. And so you know, Tuesday early in the morning because on Monday I had been awake up until like the late night, doing homework. I believe it simply was. And so it was like 12 in the morning on a Tuesday. I received an email from school notifying me about the um, housing for next year. And I got very excited. And I was like, oh my God, it's time. And no, it was not time. I actually had to wait 2 more days for for me to be allowed. Because I was very confused by that actually. Because um, it said that it was supposed to open on Wednesday, you know, but I'm guessing we're kind of cut into specific like days and hours that we're meant to do it because mine wasn't until Thursday at like 2 p.m. and I had a class at that point. That's my accounting class, the last class of the day on Thursday. And I literally, it's whatever. Like if it was I mean, granted, if it was 2 p.m. on Wednesday, it also kind of would conflict, but it would have been better. But it didn't matter. Okay, and I'll get to why. And so basically, you know, that was just that. I was like, oh, it's not even gonna be able to get my new room until Thursday, so I might as well just go to bed. And so then for Wednesday I just spoke to my teaching assistant. It was part of some extra credit activity. Just go speak to your the assistant, and you get your extra credit points. If you ask them a question, my question was very simple. It was basically just like, oh, well, if given a scenario like this, a new student comes in, to you asking you like, hey, when it comes to the class, what should I prioritize? And, they gave me a fairly, simple but effective answer, I'd say. Um, but besides that, yeah, nothing else to say. I will say though, actually, I don't know why, but last week I seemingly forgot to mention that in not management. Oh no, it actually is management. Yeah, management, specifically the one that is writing focus. We formed groups. From what I remember, I did not even say that last week's video, which is really really strange because I'm pretty certain I had it written down, but I guess I didn't realize it was on my notes. But yeah, my group of people, so far we haven't really got to know each other that much, but from what we do know about each other, it seems like we're fine. We're gonna do just well. And so then on Thursday, it was time. Okay, because that was when I got to select my room for next year. The thing is, I love this room. I really don't actually love this room a lot, but I do love this room. And the thing is, it is just so expensive. It is very expensive to be living in this room. Um, and I think that I'd just be better off going for a room that is more cheaper, but could still, have things that are to my liking. The reason why I like this room is that it provides me privacy. The previous room I had during my first semester in university, it did not give me that. And so I was like, I want privacy, plain and simple. And this room gave me that. It also gave me it at a very high cost. So for my next room, I will still have privacy, and technically to a lesser extent, but to that extent, I'm not really that upset about because it's just simply I won't have my own bathroom pretty much. I won't have to share a bathroom with like one person only. I have to share it with the entire floor, specifically the other men. So, there's that. But besides that, I'm not really that upset about it. Um, as long as the room that I'm living in, sleeping in, if I get that to myself, I'm perfectly fine. Okay, I'm perfectly fine. I already lived with a big family before I moved out to college. I am perfectly fine with sharing a bathroom with more than just one person. Okay. And so, you know, but yeah, it happened at 2 p.m. when I was supposed to select my room, and my accounting class starts also at 2 p.m. But I was like, I don't care. I am going to go get this room regardless, and I was able to get it anyway. So, and it wasn't much of like a big deal. It's not like like professor saw me with my phone out and you know I got in trouble. Like no, it's a very simple thing. Um, and so then on Friday, okay, so Friday, basically, those are the quiz days, because I have math class and accounting lab, and we have quizzes on those days. Um, I don't know what was going on. I don't. I really don't know what was happening. But with math quiz, it was only 2 questions, which is already not a good thing. You know, you would think that, well, less questions, that means less work, but that also means the grade is going to probably look horrendous. It is going to look horrendous if you just get one of them wrong. Okay, that's just 50% automatically off. So, that's not good. But then when I was doing the second question, I feel like the first question, I feel pretty good about it. I feel like, yeah, I more than likely got it right. But the second question, I was just flat out confused because they wanted me to basically find how many pounds of these two things would you have to, when mixed together, create this set number of pounds. So, like, okay, so in total it is 50 pounds. How much is each? How much is each weight? And when I got to the end, one of my numbers was a negative. I was like, okay, well, that's not reasonable. How am I going to have a negative amount of a pound? Okay. And both of them were first and foremost bigger than 15. Okay, well, I mean, the negative wasn't technically bigger than 15, but if it wasn't a negative, it would be bigger than 15. And so adding them together, how is that going to make 15 pounds? Like, how does that work? Okay, like, no. But because it was a negative number and a positive number, putting them together would get you to 15 pounds. But I was like, well, again, how does that work? You have a negative number of pounds. That doesn't happen. Okay. Like, that's not how that stuff works. And so, I just don't know. I don't know. Because I ended up erasing it and just, was like, you know what? I just need to get out of this class. It's almost time to get, to the next class. And so I just wrote down some other thing that's like, well, these two numbers together equal 15, so there's that. That's all you get from me. But I went back and, you know, did the um, equation, and I noticed like, no, those numbers are technically right. It is supposed to be one negative number. And I tried switching the numbers around in the equation. Maybe I'll get two positive numbers if I do that. No, it was still always one negative and one positive. I'm like, how is that possible though? Like, we're dealing with pounds. How am I going to have a negative amount of a pound to mix it together with positive amount of a pound to get 15 pounds in total? Like, how is that possible? I don't know. I don't know who chose to do that. But just flat out confusing. Truly, it's just flat out confusing. But basically, that should be it for this week's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I guess we'll have to see. I'll see you guys in week 14, which week 14 is exam week. Last time we had exam week, you guys, well, you guys, people who aren't watching this at all, didn't get a video from me for like up until I think the second exam week. I think is when I did it. I could be wrong. It might have been a different one. No, I think it was actually. It was the second exam week. So hopefully we don't end up with that situation again. Because I technically still do have a lot of work to do, regardless. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching again. Yeah.